In this video I'm going to go through the steps you can take to get your generator running if it won't start. First off, we'll do the most obvious thing and check that there's actually fuel in the tank. You can hear there's fuel in the tank, albeit not much. We'll then check the engine oil, because we don't want to be starting it without any in. And also, if the engine oil is low, the generator won't start anyway, because the oil sensor kills the engine. On these engines, to get the correct reading, you need to screw the dipstick all the way in, back out. There's little to no oil in that engine. We'll just have a couple of specks on the end of the dipstick. So to rule that out as being the issue as to why it won't start, what you can do is unplug the oil sensor. So from this box, which is the oil sensor, you have a black wire which goes to the kill switch and a yellow wire which actually goes into the engine itself. So we'll unplug these and try to start it. Kill switch is on, choke is on, fuel is on. That's not starting, so we can put them wires back and move on to the next step. If you've got fuel in the tank and your oil level is correct, the next thing you want to do is check you have a spark. I have this little tool here which tells me if I've got spark or not. This piece here will flash red if the spark is good. You don't strictly need one of these. You can simply take the spark plug out, insert it into your HT lead, pull the pull start and hold this up to a little bit of clean metal, and you should be able to see a spark if you have one. I'll go ahead and plug the tool in. So we should be looking for a red light here when I pull the pull start. So we know we have spark and we have compression. I can feel the compression. So the next thing is fuel. And the question I'm going to ask is the fuel getting from the tank into the carburettor? And from the carburettor, is it passing through and getting into the engine? By asking yourself these questions, eventually you will find the fault. For the next step, you're going to want to have the air filter removed and take the spark plug out. And what we're going to do is pour a little bit of petrol down the cylinder head, put the spark plug back in, lead back on and try and start it. What we're looking for now is the engine to try and start, because essentially all we've done is bypass this carb and put fuel straight into the engine. So if it tries to start, chances are there's a problem with your carburetor not giving the fuel the engine demands. When you're doing this, you need to be mindful of the air intakes. It will spit some fuel out. That's why we've removed the filter. There, try to go there. So we've just bypassed the carburetor by pouring fuel straight into the cylinder, and it's just turned over. So that tells me there's a problem with this carburetor. Now we know we've got a problem with the carb, we'll go ahead and take it off. Once you're at this point, you want to go ahead and take the fuel hose off that's feeding the carb, and now you want to turn the tap on and make sure fuel is getting from the tank down this hose and out. You can see there, from the tank to the hose, we know the fuel is good. There we just remove the cover around the spring, and also carburettor, you have a sensor on the flow ball. So we got a lot of fuel dripping out the cab there. Before taking the sensor off, I like to put the proof back on, so I know which side it goes. Tight. You can see on bottom of that needle there's actually quite a lot of dirt building up there. When you take this off, you want to keep the little rubber seal safe. Now that gives us a carb to take to the bench, open up and investigate. But before we do that, you just want to take a look at this gasket, because I have seen gaskets fitted incorrectly and the gasket actually impedes on the fuel getting to the engine. The holes in the gaskets are what you want to pay attention to. So this hole wants to meet up with the start of the cutout. You see the cutout there. So I know that gasket is correct. In terms of working logically, we've ascertained that fuel is getting from the tank and reaching this pipe, and from there it's having trouble getting into the engine. So we'll strip the carb down and see what we find. That's wound back out there to where it was, and that there is your carb cleaned and ready to go back on with the correct gaskets. You can see that little hole there, and you just want to ensure that your gasket is correctly made so that all the holes line up. And to put it back on correctly, turn the carb as it goes on, take your gasket, put it on. From there you can go ahead and put your carb back on. And before you slide it all the way home, you want to connect your governor arm and your governor spring. Once that's on, you're good to go all the way back. And then you want to go ahead and put this little sensor back on the bottom of the float bowl. Helps if you put this back on before you put the carb on. You can do it whilst it's on though. You can then go ahead and put your gasket on, and it's important to ensure your gasket is not blocking any of these holes in the carb. You then have your choke mechanism. You want to ensure this lever is pulled out and your choke is on. Then this little pin needs locating into the carb. Once that's on, you can reconnect this hose. Then on this particular generator, you have another gasket on the other side of the choke mechanism. You can put your air box back. Now you're at the point of being ready to test your generator. So you want your fuel on, choke on, and kill switch on. If it starts up, you know you've done a good job. If it doesn't, you need to go back in the steps and find where you've gone wrong. Hopefully by making this video, I'm going to help a few people out so you can get your generator up and running. If you follow the steps, you can't go too wrong, and you should have your generator working in no time at all. Thanks for watching, and if you found this video useful, let me know in the comments below.